Coming up on this episode of Earth, a trip to one of the most remote places in the world for the ethical sourcing of one of this Earth's most precious gemstones, the diamond. We meet a global sports and entertainment company dedicated to fighting climate change. We introduce you to a family name that's been synonymous with beans for over 100 years, and their secret recipe for canning this nutritious plant protein. And a Motor City company dedicated to keep our wheels turning, even in the midst of a hurricane. It's all coming up on Earth. I'm John Holden. Welcome to Earth. Hi, I'm John Holden, and welcome to Earth. We're starting off the show here in one of the most remote places on Earth, the upper northwest province of Canada, near the Arctic Circle. It's one of the few places on this planet where diamonds are mined, but the story of mining diamonds today is much more than a story of discovery and perseverance. It's also a story of sensitivity to the environment and the indigenous people who live here, as you're about to see. We all know a diamond is a woman's best friend, a symbol of a loving relationship and marriage, and one of this Earth's most valuable gemstones.
Diamonds are so valuable because they're deeply meaningful. They symbolize our most important moments, and they're something that come from the Earth. They're that perfect marriage of what Earth was able to create and what humans are able to unleash.
This lasting treasure from the Earth needs to be ethically sourced without disrupting our planet or indigenous people. This is something that Benbridge Jewelers goes far above and beyond in caring for the Earth, especially when it comes to their most unique diamond brand called Ikuma.
At Benbridge, we believe in community consciousness, and part of that is understanding where our beautiful jewelry comes from. So we have two diamond brands at Benbridge, our signature Forevermark and our Ikuma diamonds. Both of them have a beautiful, responsibly sourced story that goes behind each one.
The Ikuma is a diamond brand that's traceable back to its source through its engraved tracking, something that Benbridge has been doing for 17 years.
On our Ikuma diamonds, we actually have a little maple leaf and a number on the girdle of each diamond, on the outside edge of each diamond. And with that number, you can actually trace your diamond back to its mine of origin to understand really where it came from.
So where does the engraved tracking number on each unique diamond lead us to? The Ikuma diamond, it leads us here to the Northwest Territory of Northern Canada and the exact mine where the Ikuma diamond was first discovered.
It's tremendously exciting to be able to trace the full journey of your diamond as it becomes part of your life and your story, to know this diamond story from the very beginning, from the original mine where it was found, the original rough weight that the diamond was, and then the date it was polished. You have that full story from beginning to end.
This remote mine on the edge of the Arctic Circle is called the Gahcho Kué Mine, meaning a place where there are big rapids. It's the world's largest new diamond mine and the third diamond mine in Canada for the De Beers Group. And now it's only mine still in production in Canada, producing up to 6 million carats of diamonds per year.
Canada's been a diamond producer for just about 21 years in total. This mine has been in production since 2016. We are just below the Arctic Circle. The whole territory, which is a gigantic piece of land, only hosts about 40,000 people, and it might be the equivalent of maybe a third of the U.S. footprint when it comes to physical size. So it's a very harsh environment, but it's an environment that yields beautiful diamonds. This is one of our haul trucks in our fleet. We've got 15 of these. This particular truck is able to take 220 tons at a time, which makes it the largest one in the fleet. We've got several of this size. We move about 125,000 tons of material a day, of which about 10,000 tons contains the rock that has the diamonds in it. So that 10,000 tons will be processed through the plant, and at the end of that 24-hour period, we're averaging about 20,000 carats a day of diamonds, which is about a coffee can full. And that's a big production number when it comes to global diamond production.
Opening a diamond mine like Gachokwe was no small task. Finding diamond mines can take decades, and the De Beers Group takes extreme care in exploration, analysis of impact on the environment, community involvement, care of local fauna and wildlife, and building an extensive life plan for the mine.
We need to understand the area. So it's a blend of modern science and traditional knowledge, and that's the way the partnership really has to grow. And it's really important to us because it contributes to how we understand the land, the wildlife, the use of the land, and then helps us shape eventually how we're going to return the land to the form that it was when we discovered it.
We have a project where we're taking one of the waste streams from mining, these mine tailings, which are the finely ground rock, and we're using them to capture and store carbon dioxide from either the exhaust of power plants or from the atmosphere and turn them back into minerals so that they are isolated from the atmosphere to help mitigate climate change.
We really focus on optimizing the energy that we do use. So we use about 20 million liters a year for producing electricity behind us here in this facility. And you can see that it's modular, so we've got these 5 modules that produce the electricity. And what we do is we recover the heat from the generators, we scavenge that heat off, and we use that for heating all of the other buildings, all the facilities.
Once a location is chosen, it's all about protecting the environment, protecting the fauna and flora and wildlife in the area, and protecting the local indigenous people to give them jobs and make the mine a part of their life.
It's a good opportunity for us Aboriginal people to get tickets. If this mine wasn't here, we probably wouldn't be where we are in this day and age.
It's a career, sets you in the right path. And, I work on trucks like that right there, and sometimes I work on light vehicles too. It's setting me up for my future, make sure I have a good career ahead of me and everything.
Our main priority is, while we're a partner, we are giving opportunities to our community partners during the life of the mine, and so that there's a capacity that they can take beyond the life of mine after this is over that has helped them thrive. And from a wildlife and environment point of view, we know that we have to aim for zero harm and provide enhancements to the environment where we can. And we know we have to do that with modern science and our teams and working with our local partners and their traditional knowledge, and that's where the win-win will come.
It's no wonder Canadian diamonds, like the Ikuma, are revered for their quality and beauty and the ethical sourcing to attain them. A wearable time capsule that reflects millions of years of our Earth's history.
It's very exciting to be here in person and see where our Ikuma diamonds come from, to see the extraordinary lengths that the miners go to protect the environment, to contribute to society, and to really build for the future. It just gives so much more meaning to each diamond.
Knowing all about the ethical mining of this precious gem called the Ikuma helps you appreciate its value all the more. A gift from Earth with the deepest respect for its source. Our next stop, Chestnut Hill, Tennessee. A place of natural beauty, wildlife, rolling hills, and tourism, thanks in part to one of nature's most nutritious foods, the bean. Not because beans are grown here, mind you, but rather because of one family's recipe for sustainably canning those beans, as you're about to see. Beans. It's one of the most important food products that we harvest from this good earth, a food that's high in plant-based protein and nutrition.
Dry beans are the unsung hero of our American food supply. Dry beans have such nutritional value and are a very positive impact to the soil, to the whole agricultural system.
In fact, bean expert Mark Ubersachs from Michigan State University says the bean is becoming increasingly important in meeting the health food needs of our entire planet.
Dry beans are a global food resource and provide protein, carbohydrate, high levels of fiber,
and a good balance of vitamins and minerals. Dry beans will reduce cholesterol. They will reduce the digestion of starches so that we have a slower release of glucose, and hence they help very much in the glycemic index of food.
And if there's one family name in the United States that's synonymous with beans, it's Bush. Founded in 1908 by A.J. Bush and currently in its 6th generation of family members, the Bush family legacy in beans has revolved around social values and environmental responsibility for well over a century.
We believe environmental sustainability is extremely important. We think we have a social responsibility, a financial responsibility, and environmental responsibility. We think the bean plays a big part of that. We think cans play a big part of that. And we think how we operate in the community plays a big part of that, because we want to live in perpetuity. We're 110 years old and we want to continue for another 2, 3, 4 generations. We want to live forever.
Much of that environmental responsibility revolves around the Bush family concern for water as a precious resource.
Water is very important to us. We spent over $50 million, almost $60 million on a water reuse facility here. We take spring water, we soak our beans, we make our sauce with it. We want to take that water and return it back to the water table. There's gas that comes off that water that we take and put into the plants, and we use that to fire our boilers, so it reduces our energy needs for the plant. We also take the solid waste and feed our cattle with it. We take 60% of the water and return it to the water table, and we take 20% of that water and reuse it ourselves. So if you think about how much water that is, we can provide water for 1,000 homes for a year by returning that water to the water table.
Another concern is safe packaging, for which Bush has always relied on steel cans as being the most recyclable and safe material.
Canned food and beans are kind of the perfect marriage, right? We have the most environmentally sustainable package, the long shelf lives, the recyclability, the fact that it reduces food waste, coupled with a very environmentally sustainable way to provide protein, plant protein. So that marriage means we're providing nutritious protein to the consumer in a very environmentally friendly way.
What was once a small southern cannery has now become the premier marketer of beans and bean-based products in the country. But the Bush family remains loyal to its local community. In fact, the family farmhouse where it all started still sits here next to the global production facility in the small town of Chestnut Hill, Tennessee.
So Al, you're a huge national company. Everybody knows your beans. Why do you choose to stay here in this little town of Chestnut Hill?
Well, we love it here. This is one of the most beautiful places on earth, right here in the foothills of the Smokies. These people are very important to us. This is where it all started. And like I said, we love it here.
So this house is special because it's 110 years old. My great-grandfather, who started the company, who imparted his core values upon our family, he built this house for future generations, just as he established the company for future generations.
And the long history of the Bush family is also kept alive today here at an old country store that is now a visitor center and a national tourist attraction for Tennessee, where you can see historic bean pictures and partake in interactive bean displays.
Even your interactive weight. I mean, haven't you always wondered what your weight is in beans? That's a lot of beans.
And who hasn't seen that iconic television message throughout the years of Jay Bush and his talking dog Duke in their constant attempt to keep the Bush family baked bean recipe a secret?
But really, Al, is there really a secret family recipe?
Yes, John, there is a secret family recipe, but only Duke knows that recipe, and he's not talking. And the rest of the time, we keep it locked up.
We may never know the secret recipe for Bush beans, but their recipe for bean sustainability is known around the globe.
It's a family recipe for canning beans that's become a national treasure for nutrition. And that's a recipe for health on this good earth. Our next stop, Los Angeles, home of the LA Galaxy. It's a city known for its passion for creative entertainment, but it's also a city known for its passion for dealing with climate change, especially here in the world of sports and live entertainment, as you're about to see.
Climate change. It's an environmental issue that affects our entire world today. We all want to do something about climate change, and that includes the sports and entertainment world.
Climate change is a real threat to our planet. It's a threat to our lives, it's a threat to our people, it's a threat to our resources. It's one of the main reasons why we created AEG One Earth just over a decade ago. We saw the threat that climate change presented, and we thought with a company of our scale, we had the opportunity to do something about it and have a positive impact.
As the world's leading sports and live entertainment company, producing thousands of shows, sporting events, and music festivals that entertain more than 100 million people worldwide each year, AEG prides itself in delivering innovative experiences that give the world a reason to cheer. But they also are changing the landscape of sports and entertainment with their focus on educating the public and fans on the importance of environmental sustainability to fight climate change.
I think one of the things we realized early on is that sports and music has the power to unite people and bring people together and rally behind a cause. And there's no better platform than sports and music and entertainment to spread the message and raise awareness about the threat of climate change and what all of us can do to combat it.
That dedication to environmental sustainability and education is especially evident at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, home to the LA Galaxy soccer team.
At this location, it's a special complex. We have soccer, we have professional football, we have cycling, we have professional tennis, a lot of different activities going on. What's special about this particular complex is the first MLS soccer-only stadium to have LED sports lights, which is a game-changing technology in the sports world for illuminating playing surface. It was also the first stadium in the world, to our knowledge, to utilize a battery energy storage system that allows us to run partially off the battery to save money and reduce our impact on the environment and our impact on the local power grid.
I think it's our responsibility as a corporate citizen to make sure that we are putting sustainability ahead of almost anything else when it comes to this facility. The people that come here understand that we take sustainability very seriously, and it's something that's woven into the DNA of everything that we do here at the stadiums.
And what could be more natural for our Earth's health than vegetables, flowers, bees, and chickens? And what does all this have to do with a live sporting event and a sports complex? As it turns out, a lot.
Well, I think it has everything to do with the sports complex and having a sports team that trains here every day. I think it's a very important piece to the ecosystem of having a sports team. It's really important for players to eat healthy. I think the message to all of our guests and all of our fans and everybody that comes here is that we do care about the environment. We care about our employees. We care about the players that are on the field. We also care about the community around us, and we want to teach them the best ways to be sustainable, to grow a garden. It's very important for kids in this neighborhood to come see what we have here, to learn to grow their own food, to learn to eat well, to eat healthy so they can grow up and be professional athletes just like the ones they see on the field.
Our job is to try and put a team on the field that can compete for trophies, but we also feel like we are great stewards of our community and the place where we live in Los Angeles and in our world. We've created our own garden that we use to feed our players and feed our academy players, and also to teach them sustainability efforts in different ways that we can take care of the planet that we're so fortunate to live on. And we also try to use our platform to extend the message to our local community. So our foundation is heavily involved in going out in our local community and building gardens and participating in the education of our community. We have an initiative called Protect the Pitch, which is a play on what we call our field, but it's really about protecting our planet and different things that we can do to be stewards of that.
I think the power of sport and bringing people together of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, and when you have that kind of power and you really want to focus it in on change around environmental and social issues, I think that's enormous. So getting fans engaged, leveraging the players and getting the players engaged to better our society and better our communities around social and environmental issues is a huge opportunity for us. And again, I think the LA Galaxy, the LA Kings, part of the AEG family do a fantastic job in doing that.
It's all about transforming the industry of live entertainment on this good earth, while at the same time delivering an innovative experience for the world to cheer. Emergencies on this earth come in every shape and size, from tornadoes, floods, wildfires, and yes, hurricanes. But no matter where the national emergency is happening, there's a special team from this city that's able to come to the rescue, as you're about to see.
Since the 1900s, the Motor City has been keeping America running. And now one company in the city is working to keep those wheels turning, even during devastating natural disasters, whether it's data centers, telecommunications, financial institutions, or hospitals. Mission-critical agencies rely on critical fuel supply to keep their operations running throughout natural disasters.
We want folks to know that Atlas Oil Company is a company that when people are running away from a fire or they're running away from a disaster, we're the people that are running into it to support all the infrastructure that's necessary.
In an emergency situation, you need to get fuel in quickly for basic life support, and it needs to be done quickly, safely, and to the recipients so they can get up and do what they have to protect their resources, and it's a necessity.
Paul Bernard is the Emergency Operations Manager for Atlas Oil and a U.S. Air Force veteran who worked more than a decade managing fuel facilities in Afghanistan and Iraq. When Hurricanes Florence and Michael wreaked havoc in the southeastern states in 2018, and 2019's devastating Hurricane Dorian targeted the Bahamas and the East Coast, Paul and Atlas's Emergency Fueling Division jumped into action, bringing dedicated supplies into areas facing major supply and logistical disruptions. During this time, Atlas was even recognized by the United States Postal Service for its outstanding work.
These clients lose money by the second, so in their best interest to have temporary power, and that's what we do. We respond quickly until they get main utility back up to provide life, health, and safety to local units.
Emergency service like this is only one facet of what the Atlas Oil Emergency Fueling Division offers mission-critical clients throughout the country.
With its nationwide fleet of emergency vehicles and emergency teams on standby 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, the Atlas team is always on high alert and standby, ready to help communities withstand the storm.
We take a unique approach to equipment when it comes to emergency services. So we've got specialty trucks that we call stormproof trucks, which are smaller, versatile units that can get through high water or smaller spaces, all the way up to your tank wagon, which is your Class B truck, all the way up to a truck the size that you see like here behind me, that's got a sleeper cab and somebody that can be out in the marketplace for days on end living in that particular unit itself. We've also got a fuel automation station that we can drop in at a location that might have multiple vehicles that allows us to fuel 28 pieces of equipment simultaneously and actually grab all that information, pump it to the cloud, give our customers real-time insight to what's happening on location. So from an equipment perspective, we're very innovative. We look at what's the problem and we try to design a solution that nails that problem to the wall.
Today, the concept of a command center in a trailer is outdated, replaced by a command center in the cloud, providing real-time tracking and communication with the drivers.
Here we're operating 24/7, 365, and what you'll see is we're monitoring weather patterns, we're taking customer orders, we're track and tracing our drivers and our equipment, we're working with our carrier partners.
Atlas has spent millions on innovations that are changing the way truckers, drivers, and fuel get distributed to customers when disaster strikes.
In a metropolitan area with 4.5 million people, Children's Hospital Michigan serves as the Level 1 Pediatric and Burn Trauma Center. We are one of the busiest emergency departments. throughout the entire country, and which means we serve the most critically ill children. And because of that, we must maintain our seamless operation of the hospital 24/7, and the backup generator and the fuel systems, those are the backbones to the entire process.
You know, these are very important places that need the fuel, you know, and it's not just a necessity, it's, you know, it's a matter of life and death in most cases, and that's what really makes it, you know, hit home, you know, because this could be any one of our family members that are being affected by it.
We always find a way to innovate. So this is what we do every day, and find, you know, we go through a whiteboard, how do we help the customers, how do we help our partners, how do we help to make sure our team has the right tools. So we always finds a way, we go after it and find a way to help them out.
The key to success is having that information. First of all, we need to know where the needs are. We have the assets available, and if we don't, we collaborate with others to come up with those solutions so that when there is chaos, we can come up with the information, we can come up with the solution, and we can deliver it clearly.
Since our emergency fueling division was founded in 2010, we've never had a customer run out of fuel, even in the worst natural disasters. 100% uptime for 100% of our customers. Our vision for the future and our commitment to our customers is to be the best emergency fueling company on the planet.
Emergencies and natural disasters can happen anytime on this good earth. It requires a special DNA of mankind to charge toward the storm under any circumstance. I'm John Holden. Thanks for watching.